welcome to News Point. My name is Ofonisi Abasi. Today we'll be discussing a salient issue making rounds in the media. But first, let's look at the news highlights. The Northern Governors Forum is mourning the demise of the chairman of Nigeria Atomic Energy Commission, Professor Simon Malam, who died in gas explosion in Kaduna. The gas explosion is reported to have killed both the professor and his son alongside 3 others on Saturday at Sabuntasha area of Kaduna State. It was gathered that the explosion was triggered by a phone call received by a customer who was purchasing gas. Speaking on this, the director of the State Fire Service, Kaduna, Paul Aboy, said the gas vending store was illegal and a clampdown on operators of these illegal gas stores will prevent subsequent disaster. Now, I'm talking about explosions and fire outbreaks. The Public Relations Officer, Akwa Ibom State Fire Service, Mr.Emmanuel Udofia, is here to shed professional light on the causes, consequences, and possible ways to avert or rescue in case of an outbreak. Welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right. Now I'm talking about fire outbreak. The Harmattan season seems to be replete with fire outbreaks, mostly domestic. So what do you think could be the possible causes of this?
Yeah, fire outbreak, especially the Harmattan, is always on the increase. Though it's not just about domestic fire alone. It cut across all, but though our emphasis is on domestic, I will go into that. The reason is because, the soil is completely done away with what we call water. There's a whole lot of evaporation, so the soil is dry, the leaves are dry, and everything around is dry. And if such a thing occurs as it is, we always experience in the Harmattan. Now, there's a tendency of fire spreading. If there's any spark or outbreak of fire, you will see that fire at the incipient state, meaning at the beginning state, suddenly will glow. Why? Because the wind is spreading the fire. So there's that tendency that this fire outbreak will be prevalent or being much on the increase as far as Harmattan season is concerned.
Okay. Now, what are the things each household should put in place in case of fire outbreak?
Every household must be very vigilant. There are many causes of fire outbreak in a society, in a home. And one of the causes is negligence. A lot of persons do not pay attention to fire safety as far as I'm concerned. Just imagine now, we're talking about Harmattan season, or let me just talk about the festive season, okay, that we're in, or almost out for a few days ago. Somebody would have food on the kitchen, maybe your gas, maybe your stove, maybe your firewood. You do not pay attention to those things you have in the kitchen. In this social media age, somebody will just have a call, or maybe you're trying to respond to a mail while your food is on the fire. Automatically, when you neglect paying attention to what you have on your fire, you're already helping fire to happen. And then another thing I would like someone to know, if you want to mitigate fire outbreak, you do not need to overload your electrical socket. Many homes do not use what we call surge. Surge has the tendency and the capacity of handling whatever equipment you are plugged in it with. But any other socket which seems to be inferior, like the ones we have in the market, 200 naira socket, somebody will buy 500 naira socket, someone would buy in the market. Talking about this extension socket, and then your television is there. If you have your freezer, it's there. If you have your water dispenser, it's there. Oh, you're already not doing too well for yourself. So we tell people not to overload their electrical socket. And then another important thing we always like telling people, like we are sharing this morning or this moment, is that you must always turn off all your electrical tools when you leave your house. With this, you're already saving yourself from any fire hazards.
In homes where you have children, and then these homes are using gas, they have electrical appliances, and what advice can you give to parents? How can they take care of children based on this?
Children are very curious. What a child sees a mommy or daddy do, such we want to practice it. And I've seen many parents shout, scream, Oh my God, who took you to the gas? Nobody. The child is watching what they do. So we advise parents to restrict their children not to get close to gas. Restrict them from any harmful substance. You know, like the one that happened a couple of weeks ago or a month ago here in Akwa Ibom State to you precisely. What was the cause of fire? Do you know over 50 million property has been lost as a result of carelessness? 20 naira candle.
Wow.
Causes over 30 million. What is it? 30, more than 30 million property loss. Now, a gas. I'm sorry, not a gas. A candle was lit and then put somewhere without the base. And we've been advising people, when you have your candle on, please have a base. What is a base? A substance that can hold it, not metal. I mean, not plastic, but metal. You can even keep on your tile, because when the wax completely gone or vanished, you'll not be able to catch fire on the tile. You know, so these are the things we advise people to do. I want to emphasize once again, please, parents, help your children never to get closer except they have come to the age of maturity and accountability, because these things will help our society not to be in uproar. Just imagine spending so much money, your life investment to build an edifice, a house, suddenly in less than an hour, 30 minutes, the whole thing is completely done. How will you feel? You feel sad. So there's something also people don't like doing. Most homes do not have a proper exit route. They don't consider it. And even the exit route, you know, they will pile so many unused materials, chairs. If anything happens, nobody can escape from the house. It's wrong. Even offices. So we are also advising people, when you build a house, make sure your exit route is as clear as anything. Turn off all your electrical tools in your house. With this, you are at peace anywhere you go to. So these are some of the tips I think it will help you domestically not to become a victim of circumstance as far as fire is concerned.
That's beautiful. So when people put distress call across to you, do you charge for the water you take to render the services? Do you charge for trucks? Do you charge for maybe feeding money from people? Because at the end of putting off the fire, people will need to feed.
It's like telling a police officer, you know, you call a police officer because it's a crime somewhere. You say, hello police, please, there's a crime somewhere. I want to know, do you people charge for your uniform? Do you charge for your gun or your bullet? No, fire service don't charge. In the fire service, we do what we call humanitarian services. But you know, many people do not know that our services to the public and to humanity is free. We don't charge. And the fear is always that. I remember a couple of years back, before I went for the airport's unit of fires department, there was a fire outbreak somewhere on our back road, precisely. You know, these people did not come to fire service more than an hour after fire had almost finished everything. But a good Samaritan, seeing, you know, what the ordeal they were going through, had to come to fire service. On reaching fire service, we responded and came. Me, I was there that time. You know what happened? The woman was saying, please, I did not want to come because I did not have money. Oh boy, we felt bad. We don't charge for our services. And most times it could be emergency number, which I'm going to make available to you on this program. We don't charge for our services. Call fire service anytime. And listen, our job is not just limited to fighting fire. We do almost all kinds of humanitarian service. If someone falls into pit toilet, fire service has a department that does that. Yes, we have a department. If your house is flooded with water, maybe a fence, a nearby fence got down or got broken by a flood, and then your house is completely, we have a department. We have a frugal pump. Even though it's grounded at the moment, in less than an hour, it can finish almost water that covers the whole compound. So these are the things we do. It's humanitarian purely. We don't charge for services.
What safety measures can we take when it comes to harmattan season and fire? For example, you have farmers burning bushes and leaving it. We have people smoking cigarettes and people throwing already use matchsticks at random, what advice can you give to?
I think you're already giving the advice because you're speaking like a safety professional. That's good. There are so many safety measures you must take as far as harmattan is concerned. Initially, we were talking about the domestic fire, but this one cut across everywhere. Please, it's almost a farming season, okay? When you want to burn trash, when you want to clear your ground or your field to plant, make sure the fire you have put is completely off before you leave the place. Don't leave it while the fire is still on. You might not know with the wind, prevalence of wind, you might not know where it will spread to. Please don't do it. And then another thing I would like to tell people is this. If you would like to smoke, even though Federal Ministry of Health says smokers are liable to die young, people are still smoking, that's not a problem. It's a choice, okay? If you want to smoke, make sure your embers is completely done with fire. It might catch anything. If there's still an iota of fire in it, and then there's something else that is very close to us. Now let me get back to domestic fire. When you lit your candle, please use your hand and make sure the thing is completely dead. Fire is dead. You may just lit it and then throw it in a trash can, and then fire can come, and grow to becoming something you never bargained for. So these are the safety measures you need to put in place as far as harmattan is concerned. But beyond the harmattan season, I would like to make you know other things. Other things you might love to know. If there's any fire outbreak around your neighborhood, we always advise people to raise alarm. Do you know one of the problems we have as professionals? An individual or a group, when they see this kind of thing at the incipient state, at the beginning state, they will try to struggle on their own. So raise alarm. You may not be able to reach out to fire service, but because you raise alarm, a good neighbor might put a call across the fire service and they will come for your rescue. So don't just keep these things to yourself, try to fight on your own.
It's a raise alarm. If I decide to shout, people don't know the cause of my shouting and screaming.
Shout, say fire, fire, fire. When you just scream fire, 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 they know this is a serious matter.